Today I'm going to talk about the invisibility of women in data science. Why there aren't enough women in data science, why there are very, very few. The data is very skewed, like 4:100. We're going to discuss this topic, but before we delve into gender diversity in data science, let me tell you my story of how I became a data scientist. So I was an engineer by education, and I was working both in the software product development and fintech industry, primarily in the investment banking sector. And I was working in one of the top fintech banks. And over a period of time, I realized suddenly one day I was not very happy with what I was doing. I was very, very actively disengaged with my work. And I was in a very well-paid job, in a very well-paid position, which anybody in that short duration, whatever I achieved, would envy for. But still, I was so unhappy, and I was battling with my decision to quit my job for almost 6 months. And finally, I found the courage to quit my job and pursue my passion of becoming a CFA charter holder. CFA is one of the toughest and most intensive exams for investment banking. And so it requires a lot of level 2 and level 3 requires a lot of intense preparation. So I quit my job, told my parents, I'm quitting, I'm going to become a CFA charter. And there I was sitting and preparing for exams and writing. While I was doing this exam preparation and writing job, maybe I was like working for my exams for 8 hours a day, I still had time to do something else. So that's when I got an opportunity from one of my friends to do a small prototype for an AI trading platform, which is an investment banking trading platform which is powered by artificial intelligence. So it required somebody who has a strong domain knowledge in finance to take it up. So you screw up investment AI trading platform, then people invest millions of dollars to it, they end up in loss. So it's a very, very critical application. So only somebody with very strong domain knowledge can touch it. So he felt I was a perfect fit for it, being a CFA level 2 holder. He felt you are the perfect fit for it, go ahead, start working on it. So I know the finance side of it, but the data science is something, I know parts of data science like statistics, probability, there's still few parts which I have to pick it up. So I took up the challenge and I started working on the prototype. Prototype is something which you make before you start asking the investors to invest money in it. And to be able to pick up the data science side of it, I had to read everything and anything about data science online. And I read almost 100 courses in Coursera from EDX and Coursera in data science deep learning. I've almost completed every course out there online. And within few months, I'm almost done with my prototype, and it was successful, and it's currently in production, and people are using it to make money. It's one of my first successful projects in data science. And that's how it got started. Then again, that project was over, and then I went back to my exams, studying, reading, writing was happening. And then few months down the line, the word spread, and I got an offer to work in an AI consulting startup. And I took up the opportunity. I thought I'll give it a try for some time. And then, if it's not working, I'll still get back to investment banking. I am a very professional CFA charter now. So, but it so happened I never went back. Data science became my home. And I got to work with amazing clients, the best in industry people, across domains like genomics, neuroscience, government projects. I also got to work with very rare niche fields like semiconductor, heavy engineering, all applying data science across domains to several interesting problems in the world. Over these period of years, as a data scientist, if you ask me what is your biggest pride moment or the moment which you are proud of, I would say organizing a conference called NeuroAI is my biggest achievement in life. I'm not sure if others would view it as an achievement, but for me, it's like promoting a mental health cause or, promoting a health awareness is something which I strive for, and it's something which is a mission of my life. So Neuro AI is India's first ever research symposium in the interface of neuroscience and data science. It means we are bringing neuroscientists and data scientists together in one roof so that these two people can collaborate and come up with a lot of solutions to mental health problems in the country. So they can build products for autism, they can build products for cerebral palsy, depression. So Neuro AI has the potential to revolutionize mental health problems. All of us in this country are depressed. We all are plagued with mental health problems. We are not even aware we are depressed. So we want to revolutionize the space. That was the core idea of Neuro AI. This is about my journey of becoming a data scientist and my experiences. I've been so fortunate and lucky. The journey has been amazing so far. But one thing which is significantly stands out in my journey and what I would like to convey it to the others through my journey is whenever you are disassociated or disengaged with your work, that's time for you to sit up and think. Start making an analysis within yourself. It could be not necessarily your work. Maybe you are studying in a college and you're maybe you're enrolled in psychology or maybe you're enrolled in geology, but you're not able to connect with the subject which you're studying. It's still not too late. Even if you're in second year or third year, it's still not too. Don't think you've wasted 3 years studying something which you're not able to connect to. It's never too late in your life. If you realize that, start taking an active decision. Okay, you're not interested in something. What do you want to do next? Make the decision first. And go ahead. Once you're very strong about your decision which you make, go ahead in the direction, start working towards it, follow your dreams. It's never too late to follow your dreams. Even if that new career decision which you made, or even if that new, education choice which you made, even if you're not going to be successful in that new choice which you made, it's still okay. It's more important that you live a fully engaged and fulfilled life. It's not about being successful, it's about living a fulfilled and living that life with that connection, what you should be able to connect with the job or education you pursue. And in my case, I was fairly successful, but even if you're not successful, still go for it. So this is about my journey of becoming a data scientist. So let's get to the topic of why there is an invisibility of women in data science. I'm a community organizer. Every week, I'm out there either organizing an AI ML meetup or going to a university giving a workshop or going to a corporate company giving a workshop. This is how I spend my weekends. And one thing which is predominantly strikes out as a corporate trainer or a community organizer is the number of women in the room is skewed. Today, surprisingly, there are a lot of women. We generally don't get to see these many women in the classrooms. It's generally like less than 10 is to 90. So 90 is to less than 10 is the ratio which I see in the classroom. Why is there a skewness in the number of women in data science? I could see a parallel to it in the women in tech as well. There's this skewness in women in tech. There's not just skewness in women in tech. You take any mechanical engineering fields or any other allied engineering platforms, there is a skewness. So why is there a skewness? And I would divide my rest of my talk into 3 halves. One is, why should we have more women in data science? Why should I fight the battle of finding answers to why should we have more women in data science? There should be a reason for it. And the next part would be, what are the barriers or the blockages which prevent more women from getting into this field? And third is some of the suggestions as a trainer and a community organizer, which I have facilitated so many things. I would give my suggestions which might work out to bring more women in data science. This is how my rest of my talk is structured. And now let's get to the first part of why should we have more women in data science. So right now we live in the era of data. This is an age of data. You would have seen data is the new oil and all these taglines coming out. And so every decision in our life is being made by data. You have Fitbit, so it monitors every time you breathe, how many hours of sleep you take, and everything is monitored by Fitbit. So it tells you like you're not slept enough. You should sleep more. How many of you, I'm not sure if you've watched this movie, Her. It's a personal voice assistant which talks to you whenever you're depressed. This is an age of data. Everything is revolutionized and controlled by artificial intelligence or products of artificial intelligence. It has penetrated into all walks of our lives. If you take government is making decisions in India by data. So few years back, in India, there is a statistical problem like the state government has to measure the number of wells in a country. This is a very standard problem in India. So what does Indian government did few years back before the boom of artificial intelligence? There are a standard set of 100 volunteers who will go to every city and every state, count the number of wells, and it takes 1 year to complete. Now, boom, deep learning, artificial intelligence, satellite imagery. Google Static API has got a satellite imagery which records the satellite images across the country, and it is free of cost, available free of cost. So you can download all the satellite imagery, apply deep learning algorithms. You can find out the number of wells in a state within 5 to 6 hours without spending even a penny. So state government is saving a lot of money by using data science. Every decision in India, Indian government is following extensive use of data science in decision making. Even a bill like Triple Talak or Ayodhya verdict, everything is supported and backed by data science. There's a lot of data analysis which is being done and a lot of predictive analysis. If a government is passing a bill, how would the audience react to a certain bill being passed? That's a lot of predictive analytics about how the audience would react. There's so much of data science in governance which is happening. Corporate governance, everything and anything is built. A corporate company which has so many public investors is responsible and accountable to answer to a public why it has made a certain decision. So corporate cannot go and take a decision on its own. It has to be backed by data. It has to give an analysis on why it has taken a decision. Otherwise, the public would start fighting with them. So corporate governance is everything done by data. Research. So you go and there is now a drug for depression. How did MIT scientists and a lot of scientists come up with drug for depression? Although it's not out in the market, there's a lot of FDA approval and other things which you need to come out. They're slogging for 5 to 6 years for the drug to come out. But still there's a drug invented for depression. There's a drug which is potential drug for AIDS. There's a potential drug for a lot of very crucial, life-crucial diseases we have. And how are these drugs being determined whether they're the good drug or a bad drug? It's with a lot of statistical analysis. You conduct a lot of experiments and you make an analysis from the data and you decide whether the drug is good to go to the market or not. So every walks of a life is being determined by data. And when data is very much a part of everything about our life, shouldn't we have equal representation of women, equal representation of the population in data science teams? Data science teams is controlling everything about our life. We should have women make about 50% of the population. Why shouldn't we have an equal representation in data science teams when it is controlling our life? So that's more important. That's one of the most important reason why we should have more women in data science. And the second reason is women bring their unique perspectives to the table. Women are very, very unique. This is proven by research and not intuition. Women bring unique features and they're very, very good in problem solving and they're very, very great in making inferences. This is proven by research across the globe. So we would miss out all these unique researchers which are very unique to women if we don't have enough diversity in data science teams. And the third thing is there's strong research by every corporate out there for the last 3 years. that having more women in a mid-level, when the company includes more women in a mid-level careers, that is in a mid-sized, mid-junior and mid-senior positions, the company was known to make, there's a 33% probability that company was making above average profits. If the company had more women in the C-board position, that is the top executives, then the company was making 43% probability that company was making above average profits. This is a statistics which has been tried and tested out by several corporates, and having more women or diversity in your technical teams is always known to bring better profits, and it is also known to bring more productivity and than having a homogeneous team. So these are some of the reasons why we should have more women in data science. And finally, I would like to conclude my thought by saying data science is too important to be left to men, and more women has to come into the field. Thank you.